Okay, so for the second part, I would like to invite up on stage my dear friends, Ignas, Monika, Indrė, and Eglė to take part in the discussion.
You can sit here if you want. I can sit between you. Good, I'm just taking the stuff. Thank you so much, Naringa. So you can see here on my left and right the first generation of the program, and then Indrė and Eglė is the second generation of the program. I'll just quickly ask you to say, actually we can do two in one. The first thing which comes to your mind, you know, the main takeaway from the program, and if you could say what it is, but first also say, you know, 2 words about the organization you're from, and the main takeaway. And yes, here are the mics. Okay. Ladies first.
So, hello everyone. My name is Monika. I'm from Kaunas Municipal Public Library. Now I'm the head of Culture Management Department. And the first words that come to my mind by thinking about this audience development program is that audience is people, and people is the center of everything.
Hello, I am Indrė, project manager from Kaunas Cinema Center Romuva, and the first words would be essence, the essence, because Agata always repeated it, and I don't know why, I just remember the essence.
Hello everyone, so my name is Eglė and I'm coming from ConTempo festival. I joined the festival 1 year ago and the festival is only 3 years old. So I'm working as a producer and I joined this program with a very big expectation actually, because I thought that when you start something very new, the main thing, like building a new house, is to have the very strong foundation. And audience was, for me, the foundation from where I want to start, and finding the best quality bricks would be my, golden decision. So this program was very important to build this foundation.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ignas. I'm currently working in Kaunas Artist House, but I entered this program as Beton Loges, I think was the organization we came up with for that particular moment. And the goal of the organization was intervention into public spaces, or something like that. We left the program as Kaunas 3022, which is still going. The CEO is right here. I'm only the ambassador now. I went to do career, and they are stuck with with the misfits. So, one thing, it's not as easy as it looks. I think that's.
I agree. I think with that it's not as easy as it looks. Okay, so. If we are here, what was your biggest struggle for you, for back then, from the organization which was redefining, defining and structuring itself, because you were in formal group of people basically. You were not registered when you started. So what was the biggest struggle?
All of it. Because most, I think, organizations came in here already being organizations, and you were sort of giving some advice on how they can structure themselves better. And we just started from your, that's how it works. We came in as a joke, but then we thought, maybe we are a cultural organization, actually. We can be a cultural organization. So but we did play the game like honest. We did everything like proper how it's supposed to be. But the hard part, I don't know. Maybe we didn't take into account many things. How much expertise you need to have and the bureaucracy of it all. And then when you start making plans without taking that into account, you can ruin your health. Anything else?
I think that this is, like on a pack on cigarettes. Before you start working for the culture sector in generally, they should tell us that, that it will seriously harm your life in general and health, but they don't do that.
For sure. Yeah, I think we know. Yeah.
Okay. What about you? What was the biggest struggle? You can complain. It's not all, What was the biggest struggle?
I think one of the struggles where to start, because it was quite complicated after we had some seminars and a lot of information, and where to start to make it in our organization, and who needs to do this, and how to find the time for this. And I remember there were so many questions, and there were no answers. And through the time we found it together, and everything been solved somehow.
I find it challenging for our organization because we don't have like established team that works full time for the company, because everyone except me, they have other jobs, and to have their attention, like a proper attention to concentrate and work on the tasks and devote their time was not going that well. Actually, in the middle of the program, I was even left by my colleague because she started another job, and it was impossible for her to just have both things on her agenda. But I took it as a challenge because I saw myself in this festival, and I saw the future of this festival, and I thought, if I can take all the tools, if I learn how to work with audiences, how to discover them, to talk to them, maybe I can share those tools later to others who would join the team or even replace me. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I felt it like a very big devotion from my side to this organization, but with a huge impact for the general audience of ConTempo. So we actually started some things to do just after we started the program, because the festival was in several months, and we planned immediately audience research, questionnaire questions, how to spread them, how to work with volunteers, how not to come to the audience and be rude, or just to ask to collaborate, because this festival is for the city and we want the audience to keep our back, actually, because if not the audience, I don't know whom this festival is for. It's for all of the city, for the artists who live in the city, and they are a big part of our audience, and for all different kind of people. So when I saw Neringa's persona, from what you discovered from your research, we never did this persona. I feel a bit lost doing this persona, because in ConTempo I feel that our audience is like a huge family with cousins I have never seen, but they somehow related to me, and very different characters, from teenagers to very grumpy old ladies who are complaining but still coming with their chairs to the festival to see what these youngsters are doing here. And this whole atmosphere is like, if you ever joined any family gathering from, I don't know, third, fourth row of cousins and aunts, for me it was the same feeling, that we are sharing something in common, but we still have to discover each other in a way. We have to find out who we are. And with ConTempo, I see as a very interesting project for myself as well. So this year we will prepare better for the research, but we are already doing it a bit.
But there's, I'll ask you one more question, because there is a pro tip there. So they first, they have a spectacular success in terms of return. So they were really, really good in their research. But there's a pro tip there. Can you tell everybody who was conducting the research for you?
The research, you mean the
researchers, who are your enquêteurs?
So there was a girl in our volunteer team. She was 10 years old, and she joined the team of volunteers with her mom, who was 7 months pregnant. And they both were doing the best job, actually, asking people to fill the questionnaires.
You can't say no to that.
But not only her, we had really nice team of volunteers, and when they saw the questionnaire, what is very important also, that the questionnaire should look nice, colorful, very clear with questions, because then people don't feel lost. Okay, I just need to write 3 words here. Okay, I do it. Because if you while they are waiting for the performance and you ask them to fill long papers, no, and here comes the young girl, just brings a colorful leaflet and just please, can you just put some notes here? And we really collected 300 questionnaires, and we got really good results that I even used for future applications as a proof from the city and from the city people and our audience. What is ConTempo for them? What is ConTempo for Kaunas city? Why it is important to have this festival, and it's a very good starting point for the future, I think.
Thank you. Monika, you're one of the lucky ones, I would say, in the library, in a sense that you have a lot of data about audiences.
Yes, we do.
But you also have a very complicated structure, and it's a very large institution.
Yes, we're now a network of 21 libraries. We have library in all neighborhoods of Kaunas, so that means that everyone has a library somewhere where they live. And when you look at one library, it's a one library, but when you look at the whole network, it's 21 libraries, and it's more than 100 people working there. So we're quite a huge organization, and we had a lot of data about our users, but it's a challenge to use it well.
Okay. And because you also change your position within your organization. I remember also the meetings with the people working with the different for the different libraries, and I remember some of the struggles. Can you name also a few of them? Like the biggest struggles you had in implementing the whole concept, or working with inside of such a large and with a complicated structure organization, with implementing audience development into your organization.
I think the main struggle, I'm not sure if it's what you have in mind, but the main struggle is human resources, because we do a lot of things. The service of readers is only one of them. We organize cultural events, we implement projects, we have a lot of work, and we have not enough people for that. And when I changed my position myself, I keep doing the same things that I used to do. I only have new functions added, so I think that's the main problem, and I think in the whole culture sector.
I want to actually say something about Egle said that she doesn't have like a person, this profile, this generalized. And one of the things, so the participation in the program has taught me so many things. Like I could make a list of 50 new things that I learned, and of course it's really hard to tell all those 50 new things I've learned in 15 minutes. So I had to choose, I had to prioritize. But one of the other things which the program taught me is that there is no copy-paste process. So the audience research that you did, if we took it on and did it with our visitors, I don't think it would work in the same way. And Katrina and I made this, generalized profile of our audience, just to kind of generalize our audience. It was a fun exercise to do. So I just wanted to kind of reply to that and say that whatever each organization does, you cannot copy-paste from someone else because it wouldn't work for you. You have to find kind of your own way. And this is the tough part, but it's a fun part as well. For us, I would say the biggest struggle was probably, this change in management that I spoke about in my presentation. And me and Katrina, we kind of felt, okay, we have this organization that has this great legacy, and now we're like the managerial team, and what do we do with all of this? How do we make the organization work for us? So we struggled with finding, this kind of, or formulating kind of a vision for the organization. And I have to be honest that I'm still working on it now. I still don't have like a fully formed vision, but I understand that it's a process, and it's okay not to have like a final vision in mind. And to keep working on it, and to keep talking to different, talking to your team members, talking to different experts who can feed in, and so I would say our biggest struggle was about this huge change that happened within the organization, and then the program happening at that time kind of gave us a good foundation to go through the process and search for what the organization could be.
I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about your personal journeys, because we talk a lot about the organizations, but I think that the important part is also you as human beings. You too, Ignas. A lot of people, that's the thing that we sometimes go from one organization to another. Sometimes even during or the duration of the program. So that happens, and we've seen that, especially closer it gets to the year of the capital of culture. People started those migrations. There's a lot of migrations. So I also want to talk to you about your personal experience, and not only in relation to this program, but those past years, difficult years also, for various different reasons. What those taught you? How do you think you have changed as a professional?
How I've changed. I know that things take time now. I started thinking in these institutional, time scales instead of coming up with something and we'll do this in a month. Like, 3 years ago, I was going around the town shouting. We needed shouting, hopefully not always shouting, but that we need a radio, Kaunas community radio. So now I am also hired, besides my job in the Kaunas Artist House, I'm hired to create this radio, which I have to do by June the 10th, just to start it. And then, so it did sort of come true, but it took 3 years. So that's how we try to slow ourselves down a little bit. So if we are going to create our currency in our country, that might take 5 years or something. It's a little joke.
You have your support team. Okay, do you continue any of the? I remember also that you had collaborations, like the few collaborations during the program and just after. Do you also collaborate with different culture organizations in Kaunas personally, or as an organization? Now having a new...
what do you mean? Do you mean something particular?
Yeah, I remember that you're doing projects also with drama theater, and that you were basically...
No, basically not anymore for some reason. We did some stuff with Monica.
Okay, but I'm talking about those collaborations. They're still going on. I'm not up to date. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, last thing we did was Mindaugas did a little thing, and Mindaugas is in jail now, actually, for burning down an installation
I'm sorry that
of
I've
Capital
asked you.
Yeah, I'm happy
And you work
that
with children to specify.
No. He did a little video.
Okay, safe
It
at
was
least.
very good, actually, but it took him half a year of this painful, stressful job, and yeah. Anyways, yeah. I was trying to get them busy, you know, like. But there's not enough money to get us all jobs in the cultural sector. Yeah, we can speak, privately. I'll tell you the story. So how have I changed? Was that the question? Well, yeah, very much so. So, yeah, as I told you in my email some time ago, like I really think that. I learned a lot through this whole experience. I'll try to put it to good use, you know, bring something back to the community. So, yeah, that's all, folks.
Thank you. As you can see, we are very, very different. But that's the whole thing. That's what Neringa said. That's I always say, there's no one audience development, and there's no one approach which you can apply to each and every organization, that we can have the same starting point, we can talk about theory, but we all know that we culture workers, we learn by doing. So it's like you get things, you put them together. Sometimes you need someone who's an outsider just to give you an injection of inspiration, or just becomes your mirror. So sometimes that's enough, like to get also this kind of an extra push. But each organization is different, each situation is different. So then people are very different. So there is no cut and paste solution.
I think for me, this whole program was one of the best things that happened during this Kaunas 2022 journey. I watched your slides with tears in my eyes. It's really good to remember that, but of course it required a lot of time and a lot of energy, but it was the best experience. And one of the best outcomes of it, I think, is friendships with other cultural organizations, because you go anywhere and you see friendly faces. And we did something with Ignas. I hope that we're doing something with ConTempo in the summer. So it's only the best experiences, and very good things came from that. So I'm very happy that I was a part of it, and I'm very happy to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you. I now remember that the only time in my life I had a laugh attack I couldn't stop was actually during the forum, I think in 2019. I couldn't stop laughing, and I have a horrible, ridiculous, very embarrassing laugh. So it took I remember all my strength not to and now, thanks to Ignas, I'm almost there again. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Well, I think all the journey was a bit challenging, but I think we grew up through this time, through this half of year. And I agree that one of the most important things is collaborations and friendships, but also one of the main things is when you told us that, okay, don't think, just ask your audience how it is. Don't think and don't be intuitive, just ask.
Don't assume.
And these simple words, I think it made a lot because we all understand that, oh, it's so simple, but when you try to make it, when you try to ask it, you understand that you sometimes was completely wrong. And I think that asking makes the change.
Thank you.
How I changed, or what was the question?
Yeah, it was about your personal journey in those years, but not only in relation to program, but in general. What do you think? How your life has changed through the journey of Kaunas 2022? Because you are all on this journey together in a way.
So since the beginning of this journey that Virginia and Anna, together with their team, started applying for this title, I was very much a big fan of all this process, because from a previous journey somewhere to Europe, I saw some European capitals of culture, but then I was still a school girl or a young student, and I wasn't sure I'm going to end up in cultural field, and I was just observing everything, and for me it looked like, wow, that's so lively. I want my city to be so lively. So I was really praying that Kaunas would win this title and that people would understand what it means for the city, because it's not only 3 big huge events during the year. It's a lot of projects, and starting them 5 years before celebrating the title, it's such a long journey, very exhausting. I believe there were a lot of challenges for the team, mentally, physically, in all possible ways, because we all from cultural field know it's the same like opening the cigarette package. But during this journey, I even got myself thinking if I can continue like this, because I always wanted to work with people. I just wasn't sure in which field exactly. But after leaving Aura Dance Theater, where I worked for 4 years, and then I took a small try in a cinema festival, but then I went on maternity leave, and after that I wasn't like, what do I want to do? And I was thinking maybe I should just completely change my position. I should try maybe something totally different, like maybe some physical work or whatever. But when I started to look for a job, there were no titles of positions that I was thinking, oh, this I could. It was like, no, I started again to look at the cultural sector and what it has to offer maybe, or where I could be useful. And ConTempo was just a destiny. I just wrote a message to Gintarė, to the girl who founded this festival, and I said, maybe you need some help, a little help. I could help something, and now I ended up in this position, which is a big responsibility. It's a very huge challenge for me as a person first, and then as a professional, growing professional, let's say. But when I was listening to both Neringa's and Mario's presentations, I remembered a moment when I was maybe 17 years old, and I was doing a rock climbing, and I was always following the leader. Like, I was going with the top rope, safe, okay, if I make a mistake, I'm not dying here. And we reached one station, and my very, very good friend said, Egle, it's now your turn. And it was the first time in my life I had to do it, like starting the lead. And now I feel a bit in the same position, that I have to do this lead together with Gintarė, and I'm very happy about it. It's extremely exciting. Yeah, so these are my changes.
You can relate, Neringa.
Yeah, I can relate, I think. I think, looking back at my journey, for example, with Kaunas Biennial, I started as a volunteer in 2013. And then Virginia invited me to develop the educational program. So I was, in 2 years' time, in 2015 edition, I was responsible for the development of a 4-strand educational program. And I think I've always been, similar like Eglė, I've always wanted to work with people. I'm a people's person. People give me energy, so I feel alive when I'm, conversing with people and communicating with them. So for me, that was, kind of just starting to work with Kaunas Biennial changed my whole life. I'm in love with the job that I do, and I think the journey with Kaunas 2022, because when there was an application for the candidacy for the Capital of Culture, alongside that, Virginia also wrote an application for Creative Europe for Magic Carpets. So really the Capital of Culture and Magic Carpets were kind of going hand in hand, and both of the projects kind of support each other and have very similar values about community inclusion. Magic Carpets is more kind of focused towards promotion of emerging talents, but Kaunas 2022 also does that. So both of the projects, they're very important to me. And I would say that I'm still on a journey. I'm still on Magic Carpet's journey, and I'm very happy that Kaunas 2022 brought this opportunity of having this, international network. And I'm the project manager, so I get to enjoy all the benefits of the project, traveling to all these different countries, experiencing all these different cultures, meeting with different people, hearing their stories. Meeting with loads of different artists, emerging artists, established artists, establishing a wonderful network of curators, international network of curators who support each other. And actually the 2019 Kaunas Biennial edition was based on this. We invited the emerging curators from Magic Carpets network, but also outside the network, to apply to curate the biennial. So the 2019 biennial was co-curated by 5 emerging curators, which has never been done before in the biennial history. So, we're constantly experimenting, we're constantly changing, we're developing. Of course, we're failing in certain places, but I think those challenges, they're making, us grow. And I just caught myself that I'm speaking as we and us instead of me, but this is who I am. I'm not just me. It's, it's the team that I have and the people that are around me and all these colleagues here. And, talking about collaborations, I think what the program that we had with you, Agata, gave us is this time and space to be with each other, because we're all work in the culture field, but we're also busy all the time that, we always say, oh, we should meet for a coffee, but then, 6 months go by and still that coffee is, that coffee is already cold, and we're still not there, But this program kind of gave us a chance to meet each other, to see each other eye to eye, to hear what other organizations are experiencing, and also to kind of share time and space together. And from that, friendships grow. So, we worked with Ignas. We included him in one of the Magic Carpets residencies with an artist from Serbia, Konstantin Đuričković. We haven't yet collaborated with the library, but that's in future prospects. For example, one of the biennial artworks from 2019 is at the 9th Fort Museum, because we were looking to relocate it after the exhibition, and the fort seemed like a very fitting place contextually. So we got in touch with Marius, and he was very welcoming, for the artwork. And we also, for this last edition of the biennial in 2001 and beginning of 2002, we showed films by Jonas Mekas and this Canadian filmmakers Isuma in the Kaunas State Puppet Theatre. And those connections have come through the program. We know that each of these organizations exists, but sometimes we don't know the people behind them. And the program gave us the opportunity to know the people and to, build these human relationships.
Thank you. Speaking of also relationships, do you have any questions? People in the audience, or comments, or maybe you'd like to share your personal story and your journey with Kaunas 2022. No stories?
Yeah, I see Davila and Claudia both holding microphones, please.
It's just a stop on the way, not a final destination for us. So we're only the halfway, but thanks for asking.
Thank you for being here and being part of this project, which just, I think, some kind just started.
Thank you. Anyone else? Do you want to say something? Comment? There's also an option to complain. If you don't know, if you can take a moment, just a moment, and think about, close your eyes for a second and think about what you hope for after 2022. What are your hopes? What are your wishes? What are your dreams for Kaunas after 2022? And later, when you leave the room, you take this thought, this dream, and put it on the board, which is just right sides. Just write it down. It doesn't have to, can be in Lithuanian, can be in Ukrainian, can be in English, doesn't have to be sophisticated. It can be an emotion, can be one word, but it will help us a lot. This is also, things like this. This is also part of the research. This is a part of, this is also material for us to work on future and on future scenarios. So please, close your eyes for a moment before you leave the room and go for your coffee break. Take a marker. That's very simple. It's not going to take you much time. It will help us a lot tomorrow and afterwards.
And if you're not yet registered for the workshop with Agata tomorrow, there's
And
still
Neringa,
places.
And Neringa.
So please go and register.
Yes, I wanted to. We hope to continue the journey. Do you have any final comments? Do you want to say something? Scream something?
I want to say. I'm very grateful to you, Agata, and for the whole team for letting us grow. And this growth means that we will make the city grow as well. But another message that I have is don't miss ConTempo in August from 1st to 21st. And we will have a warm-up weekend in the middle of July. So please mark these dates as well.
Always the hostess. Thank you. I wanted to ask you all for one thing. We did the exercise with saying to each other that you are super. Now think about one thing you're really good at. We all have those superpowers, especially culture workers always say that we've got those superpowers. Think about the thing you're really good at. Got it? Share it with the person sitting next to you. Say it aloud and say it to the person sitting next to you. Exchange. What are you really good at? Making music. Yes, do it. They don't have mics. You have a mic.
Okay, I'm really good at grammar.
Ah! Organization.
Indrė. Creating, maybe. Creating?
Yeah, creating.
See, we have different skills. Like we sit, all of you, we don't know it all. None of us do. But together, we actually know it all, and we can help each other. And with those programs is that we don't come, none of us can come and teach you anything really. We can be your mirror, and I think that this is also what you've been to me. Because the way you learn also is while you teach. That's why we also ask you to also to do all those presentations. And I'm sometimes thinking that, because we think of those lecturers at the university, when they ask us to do the presentations with them, they are lazy. They don't want to do their job, so they ask us to do the presentations. But the truth is that when we, share what we know, we also learn. So I will also encourage you to grow and never, stop growing, and do it also with sharing what you know and all your skills with other people, because you've got them all. You just need to connect, and this is what I hope for. Yes, you can come back to us about the workshop tomorrow, but we are going to continue this process. So tomorrow is not the only option. You can join the process later in June. We'd like to invite you to the conversation about the future of the culture sector in Kaunas, about future programs, future collaborations after 2022. So looking towards new strategy for culture sector. Thank you also very, very much. Thank you to all of you, to Dovile, Daiva, and mother of the forum, Anna, for invitation, and for whole Kaunas team. There are too many of you to name you all today. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. I left.
Thank you all for participating and for your constant support and dedication to the project. It's really exciting to have such enthusiasm of partners who are involved in the program. Most of them have participated in the capacity building program, which helped us create, I think, a very nice network, a network of pals, not only colleagues or formal partners. Dear audience who are here still, we will now shorten the next coffee break to a 5-minute break, really. So for those of you for whom it is necessary, please use it. There's coffee outside. You can grab a cup and bring it here, and we will start and we will continue with the speakers in 5 moments. Don't miss it. These are the best bits of the conference are still to come. Thank you.